Hi, I'm Dave, the host and creator of Dopey, the podcast on drugs, addiction, and dumb shit. Everyone has been saying I should start making YouTube videos, so I figured I'd start with something I know nothing about, the daily reflections. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, but I know it's gonna be great. Trust me.
Good morning, Dopey. Galaxies glow. Your favorite podcast. Now able to show. Good morning.
Good morning, Dopey, and welcome to Good Morning Dopey. Or maybe it should be Good Morning Dopey, and welcome to Good Morning Dopey. Either way, I'm Dave. Welcome to our little YouTube show about the daily reflections. Like it if you can. If you can find it in your stomach to like it. Even if you don't like it, like it. Subscribe to it even if you don't want to subscribe to it. You'll be doing service. You'll be doing us a mitzvah here, which is nice. We are diving into the daily reflections. Woo! But before we dive in, I want to make a disclaimer, which is that Good Morning Dopey, the Dopey podcast, and me have no real link to the daily reflections or AA in that we are just talking about it, okay? We are not talking about it as anybody that owns it, runs it, anything. We're just hanging out, reading and sharing from the daily reflections. And if you know anything about the daily reflections, you know that since there are 12 steps, those steps correspond to the 12 months of the year. We are in November, which of course is the 11th month, a time for Thanksgiving and reflection. And the 11th step is, what is the 11th step? We sought through, and it doesn't say we, but I like to say we, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will. And today is November 9th, okay? November 9th. Stepping in. Oh, yeah, and if you're a Knicks fan or a Dopey fan, you can buy this shirt at dopeypodcast.com. And if you want this hat, this limited edition Good So Bad Dopey hat, I don't even know if that's going to be available. But you can Venmo me and I'll message me on Instagram or someplace and I will send you a hat. Anyway, November, that's a shill. That's a shameless promotion of merchandise. But I'm sure some of you are like, where can I get that cool Knicks Dopey shirt? Anyway, stepping into the sunlight. But first of all, we shall want sunlight. Nothing much can grow in the dark. I think that's not true. I think there's a lot of stuff that can grow in the dark. That's a whole other thing. Meditation is our step out into the sun. And I'd like to introduce our aloe plant for our first sun aloe plant for the Daily Reflections Good Morning Dope. Anyway, sometimes I think I don't have time for prayer and meditation, forgetting that I always found the time to drink or use drugs. It is possible to make time for anything I want to do if I want it badly enough. When I start the routine of prayer and meditation, it's a good idea to plan to devote a small amount of time to it. Now, I think this is very interesting. I was never a big prayer in my life, a big prayer person, but when I got into 12-step, I took every suggestion because, like, just full disclosure, I was a terrible drug addict and I needed 12 steps, or I needed something to help me, and I used 12-step recovery. And I heard them say, rarely have we seen someone thoroughly follow this path and not benefit from it. So I was all in. And one of those things was prayer. And I was shocked and amazed that praying doesn't take that long. It's really quick. If you think it's going to be your whole day, it's fast. I mean, I can rattle off like 10 prayers in like 25 seconds. Anyway. So don't think it's about time. Now, meditation, it's a few minutes, but still, it's like, it's a concentrated amount of intention more than anything. It doesn't take a lot of energy. It takes intention. It takes the willingness to do it. And I find that the willingness of doing all this weird pseudo-spiritual or actual spiritual stuff is like actual willingness to be different. And I think that's very important. Now, if you're a daily reflection scholar or a 12-step know-it-all or somebody who thinks something about this, please leave a comment because I'd love to hear what you think about it. Anyway, where were we? I read a page from our fellowship's book in the morning and say, thank you, God, when I go to bed at night. As prayer becomes a habit, I will increase the time spent on it without even noticing the foray it makes into my busy day. If I have trouble praying, I just repeat the Lord's Prayer because it really covers everything. Then I think of what I can be grateful for and say a word of thanks. That's another interesting thing. As a Jewish person, like, I didn't know the Lord's Prayer. Like, and as a Jewish person who didn't want to get clean, I was like, I'm not fucking learning the Lord's Prayer. But as a Jewish person who enjoys being clean and being part of a program, I learned the Lord's Prayer and I like it. My dad, you know, he's rolling over in his bed right now hearing this. Anyway, that's a joke. I don't need to shut myself in a closet to pray. It can be done even in a room full of people. I just remove myself mentally for an instant. As the practice of prayer continues, I will find I don't need words, for God can and does hear my thoughts through silence. That's interesting in itself. There's a guy I know who says he prays all day, and I find when I'm like feeling shitty, if I can even, like it says, kind of think a thought of prayer or think to God, like, it works because it takes you out of that moment of crazy anger. These are all techniques to feel better. It's not like aligning yourself with Jesus or Buddha or anything. It's just to feel better. So don't go crazy. Anyway, leave a comment. I'm Dave. Stay strong, Dopey Nation, and fucking toodles for Chris.